that our customers use plans in the coming years. All right, next up on the agenda is HCSS Trucking. The HCSS Trucking development has been led by Josh McDonald, who's the product manager for that product, and he's really taken it all the way from the early alpha stages to product launch here this year. Hope you're excited as we are about what we believe is going to be a very, very cost-effective and high-utility trucking solution for heavy civil contractors.
Thanks, Michael. So, our CEO, Mike Ryden, has wanted to build a trucking solution for around 10 years. And as we've gotten our feet wet and we've dug into trucking just more and more, we've come to realize something. Trucking is really, really difficult to manage. I mean, some of you show up at the job site every morning and there's truck after truck after truck lined up. You don't know what broker they're working for. You don't know who's driving that vehicle. You don't even know if you can trust them to deliver the material where it needs to go. And yet you have ticket writers that are out there in the field and they've got carbon copied papers where they're writing down every single minute detail that you need in order to track those individual trucks and make sure that this very fundamental part of your business is being managed properly so that you can complete your job in an effective manner, right? And so then all these carbon copies are going in different directions, and your poor administrative staff. I mean, let's pause for a moment and just recognize all the effort that they put into understanding the tickets coming in from the field, and then waiting a couple of weeks to get all the other tickets from the broker being shipped to them in a box, along with a bill where they try to make sure that you guys aren't overpaying for all of your trucking that you have to complete your work. Okay, so it's been a long process in the technology trail, but we finally believe here at HCSS that the technology is caught up enough that we can actually do something to solve this trucking problem. And so, modeled in similar fashion to our heavy job platform and our safety platform and our other web-enabled applications, we've built a couple of pieces that are centered around this command center up in the cloud that we affectionately call our web manager application for trucking. And here, when you're logged in on the web, you can see all of your trucking activity out in the field as it comes in. You say, well, how are you doing that, Josh? Well, to start, we built two applications that live out in the field. One is our ticket writer application that completely removes the need for you to use paper at your ticket writer level. From here, you can add new trucks on the fly. You can keep track of their time cards and their hours if you're paying hourly. You can keep track of individual load counts if you're paying by load. You can capture quantities. You can capture the individual material. You can capture and associate it to the cost code and the foreman that's performing the work, right? So there's a whole capability around this ticket writer application to eliminate the need for paper tickets. And then we also built our driver's application, which is really centered around an opportunity for you to control your internal drivers, where you can schedule assignments to them, tell them where they need to go, and they can keep track of their hours and their loads on the fly out in the field. And all this data flows up into our centralized web manager application. So what this allows us to do is now you can capture every single load. And you can capture it whether it's at the asphalt plant or at the job site. That ticket writer application can be used by multiple people in multiple locations, and all the data syncs together. It doesn't matter if you're tracking a broker truck or an internal truck, or whether you're trying to push milled product back to the recycling yard, asphalt product to the job site, aggregates, dirts. It doesn't matter what it is, you can capture every single load, and now you can capture it in real time, right? So now you look at this and you say, well, Josh, that's still somewhat of a manual process because I have to have people actually putting stuff into an app. So yeah, you're right, it's electronic data, but it doesn't solve the automation piece. So that led us to look out into the realm of technology and try to get very innovative with something brand new that's just not touching trucking right now. And that led us to this thing right here. Can everybody see that? I know some of you in the back may be difficult to see. This is a little white device. It's about the size of 4 quarters stacked on top of each other. And what we're doing is we're actually giving these to you. You don't pay us for these, but we're giving these to you to put into every single truck that rolls onto your job site. And say, what is it? This is an iBeacon. And what it does is it emits a Bluetooth low energy signal that basically sends out a broadcast into the proximity nearby that says, hey, I'm here. So what you can imagine is you take this iBeacon and you put it into a truck. And when that truck rolls within range of our devices that can track this device, you're able to get immediate data of where that truck is, wherever it is in your whole cycle for your trucks. So I've already talked about our ticket writer application, and it can read this data and it can associate it to the truck. But then Michael over here is showing us our new unattended ticket taker. And this device, it's a waterproof device, it's crush resistant, it runs on solar energy, or it can be plugged into a piece of equipment or into a wall outlet or a cigarette lighter. But what this device does is anytime one of these beacons gets within range, it automatically tracks the truck, the location, the GPS signal, and associates all that information with that truck and sends it up to the cloud. So now stop and think about that for a second. You can actually get a fully automated cycle time calculation with all of the different points along the way coming up into this command center for trucking without you hardly having to do anything. I mean, that's a potentially revolutionary solution for you in your trucking, right? So we want to jump in and just kind of show you how this works. Is there's usually a lot of skepticism around it at first, and then you start seeing, oh wow, this thing really has some potential. So let's take a look at it. So here we have our ticket writer. He's out in the field, and we've got a brand new truck that you've never seen before. You never know what truck the broker's going to send you, right? So you have this truck never seen before out here in the field, and ooh, we have a video problem. So can somebody go ahead and start my video for me? Just click on the video image, and this will kick us off. We'll try. All right, so this is the reason why. There we go. Okay, so we've got our ticket writer, and he's putting in his truck number and his license plate information. And now he's going to take a picture of the truck so that we can visualize it in the application. And then on the back of the iBeacon, there's a QR code. Snap a picture of that QR code, and immediately associates it with the truck. We can jump over, we can clock the truck in, right? Put this beacon in the cab, hop over and log a load, associate the quantity and the material and the cost code with this load specifically, and log it against the truck. We just took the truck from not even being in the system to not only being registered, logged in, and have a load logged against it, but now also have an iBeacon sitting in the cab of that truck. And the battery in these things lasts about 2 years. You don't have to retrieve this, bring it back. It stays with that truck for as long as it lasts, right? So that's the ticket writer application. So on our driver's app, let's say that I've assigned a schedule here, and I'm going to need some help again with the video if I may, please. So I've assigned a schedule here to my driver, and now that driver is going to go ahead and log into this assignment. He's going to clock in, and he's going to associate his time with the job site and his foreman. And he's going to go ahead and start putting in this case, some asphalt quantity that he's hauling for me. And he's going to log every single one of these loads independently. Every single time one of those buttons are pressed, whether it's in the ticket writer application or in the driver's application, it's sending up GPS data about that phone. It's sending up all the information that's relevant to that event, and it's collecting it up in the command center, our web manager application for trucking. So both of these applications work well so that you can get a real-time view of what's happening. We provide these detailed reports that allow you to view the data based on job, or based on truck, based on cost code, or the material that's hauled. You can start seeing your cycle times popping up here so you can understand how efficient your trucks are being or what's happening out there on the job. We also allow you to use this to integrate or to exchange with your broker so that you can start telling your broker what you intend to pay rather than waiting for them to send you the information back 2 weeks later in boxes of paper. We also provide a trucking dashboard that lets you just log in and have a heads-up display of all the information that's happening live out in the field. And you can see it summarized by job, cost code, material, truck, and it gives you that opportunity to just take a look at it at a glance. All right, so this trucking solution has the potential to really help you in a lot of areas. So if you look through this list, here's some problems that we've encountered with people that are using paper systems. We really believe that the solution will help you eliminate the bogus ticket problem. And no longer do you have collusion happening with your ticket writers and your truck drivers out in the field, or your broker trying to get an extra ticket paid for. This will help you eliminate lost and diverted material, because now you have these iBeacons that are helping you keep track of when a load doesn't show up where it's supposed to, right? And you get all the different pieces of the transaction very effectively. Maybe you're running too many trucks or not enough. Now you can actually see how many trucks you need to have in the field and whether it's an optimized amount. And then let's not forget all of that time. Remember, the ticket writers having to write down all that information in the field, the foreman as well. We get to recover that time and put them back to work in the production of your job. And your poor back office administrators, they finally have a digital copy that they can use, and they can use that to tell the broker, hey, this is what we intend to pay you, instead of having to wait for them to send you that information 2 or 3 weeks later. All right, so you think, well, what does something like this cost? Well, what we think is reasonable is around $3 per truck per day for you to use all these components in the system. You get these beacons for free, you get the ticket writer application, the driver's application, and you have that web manager application that brings all that data in. Now, that's not a subscription cost, so it's not like you're paying some monthly fixed fee. You only pay that $3 if that truck works on that day. So if they work 1 day, you just pay for 1 day. If they work 5 days, you just pay for 5 days. You don't have to worry about some extended subscription model. And we really believe that with all these different pieces, this is really going to empower you to take control of your trucking problems that you're struggling with. You can turn this on today. You can go, if you're an administrator credentials, you can go to credentials.hcssapps.com. You can just turn on these different pieces and take a look at what the trucking solution can do for you. If you want to get a demo, Sadaf will be out here in the very first booth over here on the left outside the Keynote. He can give you a full demo of everything trucking. And then we're going to have a class this afternoon at 3:15 working with one of our customers that's helped us develop the platform. And if you really want to get started, well, actually, Michael, we have some iBeacons here at the conference. You need to talk to your salespeople if you want some of these and are serious about it. We can send you home with them, and you can kick off your trucking solution today. So, I'm pretty excited about it, Michael.
Thanks a lot, Josh.